Cazateatro Bilingual Theater Group presenta Cazateatro y sus amigos, podcast oficial de Cazateatro Bilingual Theater Group en Memphis. Conéctate a nuestro contenido, dale like, compártelo y activa la campanita para notificaciones. Bueno, bienvenidos a Cazateatro y sus amigos aquí en Memphis. Este es el primer podcast, la primera edición de Cazateatro y sus amigos. Welcome to Cazateatro y sus amigos, our first edition of this new podcast that we are doing for our Hispanic community in Memphis. Y para todas las personas que nos ven a través de las redes sociales, gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Today we have a very special guest from Memphis Heritage Trail. Felicia is with us. Felicia Harris. I want to welcome Felicia and put her in the transmission. Hey, Felicia, how you doing? Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Good morning.
So it's an honor for us in Cazateatro y sus amigos to have you here because we are celebrating our heritage, African American heritage, well as African American or Latin American. We both are descendants of Africans. And we love our heritage. And this Black History Month is the perfect moment to celebrate this. And it's an honor to talk about Memphis and Memphis heritage. And Memphis Heritage Trail is a very special project, Felicia. I just want to let you introduce yourself and the project you are working on to our audience, our Hispanic audience, or English-speaking audience. How you doing today, Felicia?
Hi, good morning. Well, thank you so much again for allowing me the opportunity to be on with you today. I am Felicia Harris. I'm the administrator of our Planning and Policy Department here at the City of Memphis Division of Housing and Community Development. And I also have the privilege of being the project manager for our Memphis Heritage Trail project. It is an initiative that the City of Memphis has been undertaking over the last many years, since 2008, actually. And so we started this project in 2008, really to start looking at the contributions of African Americans here in the city. And so as we get more into it, I'll talk about it in respect to understanding our culture and learning about our culture and heritage, but also about community development, specifically in some of our historic African American neighborhoods.
Okay, I would like, Felicia, if you let me, to translate some of the very important points that you have been expressing to me right now for the Hispanic audience. Felicia nos está explicando que Memphis Heritage Trail es un proyecto que está activo desde el año 2008 y trabaja con las comunidades y está asignado a la ciudad de Memphis y trabaja con el desarrollo de vivienda y ayuda a desarrollar las comunidades históricas de la ciudad de Memphis. So there are some specific communities that you work with that are very historical, very important communities in the Memphis history. After Civil War, these communities became very important settlements for African Americans. Which are these communities?
Sure. So we are mainly situated downtown and south of downtown, which is the areas known as South Memphis, was one of the first areas that was populated by African Americans post-enslavement. And so our boundaries actually are Bill Street on the north. We go down to Walnut on the east, Crump Boulevard on the south, and then down over to Front Street on the west. However, we also have linkages to Orange Mound, which is one of our historic African American neighborhoods, a neighborhood that was settled and developed by by formerly enslaved people, one of the first areas outside of South Memphis. And then we also have Soulsville, USA. A lot of people know about Stax music and soul music coming from this particular neighborhood. So outside of our regular boundaries, which are mainly downtown and the neighborhood directly south of downtown, we also link to Orange Mound and Soulsville, as well as others around the city, but specifically those three areas are our key areas.
So you say Orange Mound? Did I say it correct?
Yes, Orange Mound.
Soulsville?
Soulsville, yes.
Southville, and what's the other one?
In the area that's exactly immediately south of downtown, which is called now South City.
Okay.
That is the area around Booker T. Washington High School. It's mainly our 38126 zip code, um, which is that main area. And if you are familiar with Memphis history, you know that all of this area was once called South Memphis, and over the years it has been sectioned off to different neighborhoods. But yeah, essentially, it's our South City neighborhood, parts of downtown. So we have Bill Street, for example, is a part of, is a key uh, piece of our entertainment loop, actually, which is our entertainment loop for Memphis Heritage Trail. We have four loops: the entertainment loop, our commerce loop, our civil rights loop, and our residential loop. And so each one of these has like a different aesthetic and components of the project that we are highlighting.
Yeah, this is very important components of history of the Memphis history, which are civil rights. Of course, we know about Martin Luther King, um, about cultural. Uh, Cultural is very important here because the music is a very important thing in Memphis. It's a very important part of our history in Memphis, and we Latinos that now call Memphis our home. We need to understand and educate ourselves about all the different kind of musical, I would say, different heritage that we have here in Memphis. Not just a soul, but jazz or blues, or a lot of very important musicians in the United States musical history came from Memphis. So it's very important for us to feel proud about it. As Latinos, we got our own musical history, but it's very related. We got very strong links with the soul. I would say if you hear the salsa and bomba and plena music, which are music styles from African, Caribbeans, and Latin American people, are very, very related to the Memphis music. How are
Sure.
you working with the musical part of the history of Memphis?
Sure. And so we in Memphis Heritage Trail, this initiative is focusing on all parts of our culture and our heritage. Of course, the music is very important to that. It's a hallmark of our history and our culture, not only to the city, not only to African Americans, right, and as well as American history. And so we, work with those on Bill Street, at the Blues Foundation, connecting with others in the Delta, and using, I guess, a regional approach as we look at music and as well as other parts of our history and culture and the arts in general. And so, specifically to your question, though, we, partner with Soulsville USA. We have partners with Stax as well as others within the arts, and we do different activities throughout the year, and whereby we are partnering with different organizations or different entities as well as individuals. And so we support the arts as well as, in particularly music, through like engaging artists and musicians and other musicians, during special programs and different activities.
So I want to translate this because it's very important for us to understand this as Hispanic who are living in Memphis. Es importante que sepamos que la organización Memphis Heritage Trail trabaja activamente construyendo alianzas con organizaciones musicales, artísticas en la ciudad, aunque no solamente trabajan con el arte y la música, también se ocupan de la historia, de los derechos civiles, de las luchas de los derechos civiles, pero también usted puede acudir a Memphis Heritage Trail, a su página web, y buscar información sobre la música, sobre la historia artística y sobre los derechos civiles y otros movimientos que se han dado en Memphis, la historia en general. In general, the history of African Americans in Memphis is being put on the spot by Memphis Heritage Trail in different ways, right? So what are the projects you are working on to make this available for to all different kind of visitors that you have in Memphis?
Sure. Our mission with the Memphis Heritage Trail is to really to look at, as I said earlier, the contributions of African Americans who helped shape the rich history and the culture of our city. And it's like through our music, through our culture, through our businesses, and specifically for in our case, through our neighborhoods. And so we have a lot of activities throughout the year. One of the major things that we do once or twice a year is to highlight Memphis Heritage Trailblazers. These are organizations as well as individuals who are doing unique things in respect to African American history and culture in the city, as well as supporting our uh, our historic neighborhoods. So they may be such that they're a social service agency. They may have a youth program. They may have an arts program. I mean, it's a lot of different things, right? So we highlight them. Other things that we do, we have our social media platforms. We're on all of the social media platforms, and we highlight different organizations as well as people or events and locations that are key to our project on our social media platforms. We have developed a very robust website that we house our Memphis Heritage Trail curriculum, where people can go there to take a look at, and learn about all of our, history and learn about our history and our culture, events, key locations. And we are encouraging educators in particular to utilize this curriculum in their classrooms. But it's on the website, so families alike can, go there and download that. And then we have a very robust app. It is free on your Google Play Store as well as the Apple Store. That app can be downloaded. So regardless of where you are in the world, you can tour Memphis Heritage Trail virtually. Then you can learn about all of our locations, events, and people in our key neighborhoods. And then I also would like to add that we work in the community development realm. We look at how do we repurpose, reimagine, and reuse uh, blighted properties or public spaces. So, for example, in our Orange Mound historic neighborhood, we have historic Melrose High School that we are in the process of redeveloping. That school has been blighted and vacant for over 40 years. It is now being repurposed and reimagined into a library, a community library,
Oh, that's
as
nice.
well as a genealogy center and senior housing. And that it should be opening at the end of this year.
Oh, that's very nice. So I want to say this in Spanish for our community. The Memphis Heritage Trail está haciendo un reuso, reimaginando, dándole un nuevo propósito a una high school histórica en Orange Mound y la está convirtiendo en una librería para toda la comunidad. Y habrá información. This library is going to have information about Black history, or it's going to be history in general, and all different kind of books.
Yes. And so, and the genealogy is going to be a major part of that, where families, not only African American families, but anybody can
Okay,
come in and
anybody.
do family research on their family to learn more about their family through genealogy, as well as also be a repository for neighborhood research. So you can come in and learn more about uh, Orange Mound or other neighborhoods throughout the city. So, yes.
Is there any concern that you have at this stage of the project uh, about how it's going on or what is going on in the city with tourism, public safety, or stuff like that? That you wish can be work it out on a better way, or everything is working good for you for the organization right now?
Well, public safety is always a concern, not only for our visitors, but definitely for our residents. And so we work with Downtown Memphis Commission, as well as the Memphis Tourism, and as well as the state tourism around all things, not only public safety, but all things cultural tourism and heritage tourism. And so there's always ways to explore, to do things better and to do things differently. And so that's a constant conversation that we are involved in. when it comes to tourism, we are working specifically with our Memphis Tourism Commission as well as the state of Tennessee to see how do we better promote Memphis Heritage Trail to the world in an authentic way, in an interactive way. So whether it's through the app or whether it's people coming here to tour the Memphis Heritage Trail, themselves physically, they have many options. So you can ride a bike, you can walk, you can be on a tour bus, you can just drive around. It's so many different ways, or you can do it virtually. So we are constantly looking at how we can partner with organizations such as yourselves to expand our network and to get the word out to different organizations and to different groups of our city, within our city. And we are looking at how do we market and promote our app as well as the project and our website. So yeah, so
So
it's a
it's a
constant,
constant, yeah,
yeah.
it's a constant effort, and you never stop working. How many friends do you get on your organization working with you as voluntary or employees as well?
Sure.
How big is your crew? How big is
Right.
your team?
Well, my team is very small. It's myself and another colleague, Lauren Barksdale. However, we're governed by an advisory board. Our advisory board consists of nonprofits, folks in government, organizations that are in culture and tourism, so like Civil Rights Museum, but we also have Tour Possibilities. We partner with the list of partners is countless, but we also have what we call strategic partners. So
Okay.
those strategic partners would be Memphis Tourism, the state of Tennessee, Memphis Brand Initiative, the Airport Authority, MATA, Downtown Memphis Commission, um, Bike Share, the Bike Share program. So we have our strategic partners, and then we have organizations as well as residential stakeholders. And so it takes all of us coming to the table to work, and to constantly work on this. So, and hopefully you all now will be a partner.
Oh, of course. It's
Yeah,
my honor to be part of Cazateatro. Of course, we want to talk, by the way, we want to talk about this panel that we're going to have tomorrow. I think it's in the Museum of Soul, Rock and Soul Museum. It's a panel about, we're going to talk about our heritage, about African Americans and Latin Americans, and the strong link that we have, this strong connection between our African heritage. Because a lot of people don't talk about it, but we Hispanic or Latin Americans or Caribbean people, me as Puerto Rican, for example, we are descendants of Africans, and we are proud of it. And we got our strong roots on music, like different kind of music, like bomba. We call bomba, plena, and salsa, all kind of different rhythms that became a part of our life. They came from Africa, and we embrace them. But I feel like we don't have this strong connection between African Americans and Latin Americans, African Latin Americans as well. We need to work out on this part of our relationship, and I think it's a good thing we have this panel tomorrow. What you can say about that?
well, yes, we are definitely excited. We are, as you know, we'll be at the Rock and Soul Museum. And so, again, talking about the music and the heritage and the connection in terms of all of our Africanisms through our culture, specifically in music. And I will even say dance as
Yes.
well, right? And so, we are excited about having this discussion and having the panel. I mean, we believe that this really is key, that we all have to do our due diligence to constantly educate ourselves, to be open to exploring all parts of the African diaspora, as well as all the Pan Africanisms that bring us together. And so we are extremely excited about the opportunity for us. This is, of course, as you know, Black History Month. But for Memphis Heritage Trail, Black history is American history, is Memphis history, and it's 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. And so, but this is a wonderful time to bring it to the forefront and to share cross culturally.
So one important thing. Oh, let me say this in Spanish because it's very important. Felicia y nosotros en Casa Teatro Memphis vamos a estar en un panel mañana en el Museo de Rock and Soul Museum en Memphis. Si quiere más información, entre a las páginas de Casa Teatro y sus amigos, casateatro.org o Casa Teatro en las redes sociales para que tenga información. It's free tomorrow. I believe it's 6 p.m. On a museum. So es libre de costo. Mañana en el museo es un panel de discusión sobre Afro-Latinos, African American and Latinos connection. Oh, this beautiful connection that we have as brothers on music, food, and dancing, and even some words that we speak came from Africa, and we keep them. And we are part of this history. Somos parte de esta historia y las conservamos. Y since we are Memphians now, Memphis is our new home. We want to love and learn and love our history. Queremos aprender y amar nuestra historia in Memphis. Felicia, I got a question for you. Since you started working in this project, how you, I would say, what did you learn about you that you love more now than before you start working with this project of Memphis Heritage Trail? ¿Qué aprendiste que amas ahora más de tu propia historia desde que comenzaste a trabajar en este proyecto? Since you start working, what did you learn from your history that you love more than ever?
I think it's just the thought of our collective, how should I say, our collective survival instincts.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Collectively, how we have survived over time through some really rough periods in our history, and yet we are still here. Yet so the strength of us, our sustainability, and our resilience, and the responsibility to me personally that comes along with that. Those are and those are things I've been learning, and then the education never ends. So I consider myself as a lifelong student,
Me
and
too.
and, and always I know to always embrace learning, and just learning and expanding myself personally and professionally. So this has really become for me a passion project, and one that I carry with great honor and a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, you can learn from history all the time, and as well become a person who understand more your history. You're gonna be aware of where you at right now, and thanks those who came before you and work hard, to make
Yeah, and
this
then
city
that's
work.
not you, and just not just stop at the history part, but then how do we utilize that to improve things, to leave our community better than we found it, and how do we honor at the same time of honoring that? What do we do with that? What do we do?
Yes. Yes. So, ¿qué vamos a hacer? ¿Qué vamos a hacer con nuestra historia? I'm telling it in Spanish. What are we gonna do now with our history? How are we gonna look in the future and say, hey, we want to become this kind of city, this kind of neighborhood, this kind of community for the future. And talking about future, I was impressed about the curriculum project that you guys have on Memphis Heritage Trail.
Mhm.
That you were training teachers to teach the Memphis history. Can you
Mhm.
talk about that a little bit more?
Sure. A few years ago now, we received a grant from the National Park Service African American Civil Rights Fund. And that the purpose of that fund is to tell untold stories and to add to the content of African American history and specifically civil rights history. So we applied for the grant through the National Park Service to put on a teachers institute. Our goal was to at that point was to bring teachers into the institute. It was a summer institute that was held, and we did, I think, a couple of sessions of it throughout the year, a couple of years. But nevertheless, we brought teachers in to educate them for the goal of going back and teaching it to their students. Then this summer, actually, we have the other side of that. We have a institute for high school students to come in again to use the curriculum to learn about Memphis history and our specifically our assets around the city. So we have over at this point over 70 cultural assets and counting within our Memphis Heritage Trail, and two that we are kind of most proud of are the I'm a Man Plaza, which is located at Claiborne Temple, and the MLK Reflection Site. These are two major concepts that were birthed within Memphis Heritage Trail that for MLK 50 we brought into fruition. I'm a Man Plaza is about teaching visitors, whether residents or tourists, about the sanitation. The 1,300 sanitation workers and their strike of 1968, and it's all about the sanitation workers. The MLK Reflection Park is about Dr. King's legacy, and specifically, how are we living out the essence of his legacy? And and you can sit there and reflect upon that and think about that. And so, but again, in the curriculum, you will learn about Bill Street and all the different things that happen there. It's not only a place for entertainment, but this was a place where African Americans lived and had businesses as well as did entertainment and developed all this beautiful music. Well, we have the Commerce Loop, Vance Avenue, that was once a place where a lot of different businesses were located, doctors and lawyers and dentists. And then we have some that are still part of that commerce loop, such as Seth Tucker Architects and the Universal Life Building, and a place where the city of Memphis is now training entrepreneurs. And so, as much as we try to connect the past, we have to connect it to the present as well as to the future. So, but the curriculum that we were just discussing, it brings all this to bear in one document where you can look at those key locations, places, events, as well as people, and it has a a work plan for teachers and educators and whomever want to look at it to follow.
And I love the fact that you have a virtual experience through the app that people can download it on their phone. Either they can drive or walk or take a bike and ride around the Memphis Heritage Trail and learn. We, people who have kids in school, and we got to do these homeworks this month of, Black History Month and everything like that. It would be nice to take our child, to the trail and use the apps and, walk or take a ride in the car and go to these sites and, like you said, learn, in a different way about this beautiful history of Memphis.
Yes, definitely. It's multimodal on purpose, and it has so many other benefits, right? So, like for example, during COVID, someone's like, "What are free things to do in Memphis?" And someone highlighted, they can do Memphis Heritage Trail. They can get out, they can walk, so you're getting exercise, you're breathing fresh air, you're enjoying the sun. So they have all these other health benefits, right? And then at the same time, you're getting educated, you're being entertained, so you can get a lot from it. And then I believe, being able to see it at eye level.
It's
So like
different.
it's completely different experience. So since then we have also added one of our partners. They did the Ida B. Wells Memorial right at the corner of Bill Street and Fourth, and learn all of at the Ida B. Wells Plaza. You can learn all about that. Then you can walk over to the University of Memphis Law School and on the Riverside and visit the women's suffrage monuments, and there
Wow.
you have, I think, about 4 or 5 African American women that are highlighted there who are part of the suffrage and humanitarian efforts within the city. And so, yeah, and so a lot of different, things for you to do at eye level. Like I said, you can walk, you can ride a car. Some people are in a tour on a tour bus. You can ride your bike. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's a very different way to learn. And is very specific to the needs of the people who want to learn the history in a different way. It's one thing to read in the books or watch a movie or see something in the video, but it's very different. Walk through the trails that the history was made here in Memphis. This is something special. Let me say in Spanish for people, es bien importante que sepas que puedes caminar, ir en automóvil o utilizar una bicicleta y disfrutar con la aplicación móvil que está disponible en el App Store de tu celular, que se llama así Memphis Heritage Trail. Puedes bajar la aplicación a tu teléfono móvil y puedes ir con tu familia y tus hijos a estos lugares históricos y tomarte fotos, leer la historia, vivir tú mismo la historia de cómo sucedió en todos estos lugares aquí en Memphis. Well, Felicia, I want to say thank you for your time, for being here with us in Cazateatro y sus amigos. We're looking forward for tomorrow to be in a panel at 6 p.m. on the museum. I believe it's Soul and Rock Museum in Memphis. What's the address of the museum? Do you know that detail?
No, I do not
I think it's
know
downtown, right?
it's downtown.
Yeah.
It's right near FedEx Forum, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
at the
Near
corner
FedEx
of
Pharmacy.
Second and Lee Street, I believe. But yes, so but it's right near the FedEx Forum. But it's the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum.
Yeah. So, everybody, we want to see you tomorrow there. And we're celebrating, remember, we're celebrating this month and we're celebrating this week, specifically Afro-Latino. And we are proud of being part of this community in Memphis. And we want to keep looking forward to, bring together everybody in the city and make this a better place to stay, to live, to learn, to, go to college and celebrate our Black History Month. Felicia, I'll thank you and thanks to the all the family of the Memphis Heritage Trail for the beautiful work they're doing for the city.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Well, we'll see you in another occasion here in Casa Teatro y sus amigos. Thank you. Gracias, amigos. Hasta